Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Nick Lazaga, and welcome to MiM Monday. This is Mickey in Minutes Live, and it's time to make Monday magical. Thanks so much for joining me. I see a few people already joining me in the chat. What's going on, everybody? Thanks so much for hanging out. If you're new to MiM Monday, this is Mickey in Minutes Live, and we're going to talk about the latest Disney news, and I want to make this a conversation. So if you're live in the chat, type your thoughts down about these news stories down there in the chat, and let's talk about it. If you're watching this as a replay on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, then be sure to leave your thoughts as comments, and let's just keep this conversation going. So thanks so much. Excuse me. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. So it's officially the Christmas season. Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm going to say that every single MiM Monday until we officially get to Christmas, because I'm just a Christmas guy, and I love Christmas. So I didn't do a show last week because right after Thanksgiving break, it was so crazy. I'm a teacher, so I had the week for Thanksgiving off, and my family and I went on a nice trip, and it was just really great, but I was so tired Monday and went to work and just didn't do a show. But I'm back, so I got a lot to talk about today, and a lot of Christmas and a lot of other Disney parks news. Hey, what's going on, Tim? Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody in the chat. So I want to start off with some news that I am just so excited about. This news just hit me on like multiple different levels of fandoms, and that is the fact that a new Hallmark Christmas movie is coming out in 2026, and it is filming at Walt Disney World. So yeah, I'm a big Hallmark Christmas movie fan, and obviously I'm a big Disney Parks fan. So having these two worlds come together has just made my heart so happy. And of course, this movie is starring none other than the Queen of Christmas, Lacey Chabert. Yeah, in the chat, Meg saying, so fetch. Yep, so fetch. I love that Mean Girls fame. But yeah, Lacey Chabert, the Queen of Hallmark, the Queen of Christmas, is starring in a new Countdown to Christmas movie on Hallmark. And it's coming out in 2026. It's going to be called Holiday Ever After, a Disney World Wish Come True. When this was announced, oh my goodness, I could not contain my excitement. So, like I said, I love Hallmark movies. And, of course, the best Hallmark movies are the ones that star Lacey Chabert. And to be filming at Walt Disney World is crazy. So I saw some people posting on Instagram already that they've seen her in the parks, and I've seen some pictures and some video of her filming this movie. I saw a video in particular that someone posted of her in Hollywood Studios, hanging out in front of Echo Lake, in front of Dinosaur Gertie, Santa Gertie. So that's just so exciting. All right, to think that Santa Gertie is going to be in a Christmas movie on Hallmark, yes, Santa Gertie deserves that love. But anyway, so this movie is going to be starring, of course, Lacey Chabert, Travis Van Winkle, Richard Kind, which if you don't know Richard Kind, he's the voice of Bing Bong from Inside Out. Christy Carlson Romano, of course, that's Kim Possible, and the sister from Even Stevens. Oh my gosh, what is her name? I can't remember the character's name from Even Stevens. Obviously something Stevens. Someone help me out in the chat. Megan, what's her name from Even Stevens? And then, of course, Patrick Renna on The Sandlot, from The Sandlot, is going to be in this movie as well. Ren, thank you so much, Meg. I knew you'd know it. Ren Stevens, Christy Carlson Romano, and yeah, Kim Possible. So yeah, so lots of great cast members in this movie. And all right, let me just read you guys the synopsis of this movie, because it has Hallmark and Disney magic written all over it. And I'm just so excited. So here's the film blurb from Disney Parks blog. It says, in the film, Lacey Chabert's character and her extended family head to Walt Disney World to spend a magical Christmas together. but the dream of a jolly holiday gets dashed when Lindsay, which is Lacey Chabert character, discovers her room is next door to Philip, Van Winkle's character, after a disastrous first date that they recently had. And that character is also there on a family vacation. And then it says that as Lindsay and Philip's paths cross throughout their stay, the frost starts to thaw as they learn they're not so different from each other after all. Thanks to the magic of Walt Disney World, the holiday wish Lindsay made in Cinderella's fountain, it just might turn into a romance. So yes, reading that synopsis just gets me even more excited for this movie because it has all the marks of a Hallmark movie, and of course the Disney magic sprinkled in. And then not just the movie, guys, not just the movie, but there's going to be a bunch of co-branded holiday products dropping next holiday season. Of course, this is all for the 2026 season. We have to wait a year, guys. We have to wait a year for this. But festive Hallmark products that are co-branded with Disney parks are going to be for sale at the Hallmark stores across the country. So I'm wondering what this is. So it says greeting cards, ornaments, gifts, gift wrap, and other unique offerings based on this partnership and this movie. So here's what I'm hoping for, guys. Disney Parks branded wrapping paper. I need all the products, says Cousins Collect. Yes, absolutely. But guys, Disney Parks wrapping paper. Am I going to be the only weirdo who gets like the Disney Parks wrapping paper and cuts out like a nice square of it and frames it? Is that just me? I don't know. Maybe there's other weirdos out there who will frame Disney Parks wrapping paper. But anyways, I felt like I had to lead with this story because it made my Christmas heart happy as well as my Disney heart happy. And of course, I'm wearing a Disney Christmas shirt. So yeah, let me know in the comments, is anybody else excited for this Hallmark Walt Disney World movie coming next season, 2026, to the Hallmark Channel? Let me know down in the comments. And also, if you're a Hallmark movie fan, let me know which Hallmark Christmas movies have you seen this season? Because I've seen a whole bunch, and I have a whole bunch, or my wife and I have a whole bunch of Hallmark Christmas movies that we watch every single year because they're some of our favorite Christmas movies. Not just Hallmark movies, but Christmas movies. So let's see. In the chat, Tim says, Megan is, which means I am too. Yes, Tim. Hallmark Christmas is where it's at. So yeah, I think there's going to be lots of Disney Parks fans having Christmas parties to watch this movie next season. Again, it's titled Holiday Ever After, a Disney World Wish Come True. So, yep, there we go. There's no official release date yet, but it's going to be part of their Countdown to Christmas marathon on Hallmark Channel. So, I don't know. But anyways, I'm very, very excited. So, yeah. Yep. All right. So, the next story here, if you've got little kids, you're going to be stoked for this one. Bluey. So, Bluey is coming to Disney World, guys. Bluey is coming to Disney World. Bluey and Bingo, to be exact, are both coming to Walt Disney World and Disneyland. So, let's talk about this. The Fantasyland Theater at Disneyland Park, that's that big theater over like by It's a Small World, right next to the entrance to Mickey's Toontown. That theater is going to be home to a brand new Bluey show starting March 22nd, 2026. So it's going to be called Bluey's Best Day Ever. And yeah. No, all right, in the chat, Meg says, thought it was just Disneyland. No, Disney World's getting something too. I'll get to that in just a second. So Disneyland Park getting the show, Bluey's Best Day Ever. And the show is going to be set in Bluey's school. And Bluey and her sister Bingo are going to take the stage alongside of a troupe of comedic actors and musicians to bring the best music and games from Bluey episodes to life. That is another quote from Disney Parks blog. So yeah, the concept art looks super cute. They're making the stage and into like her school, and then around it has all these trees and stuff, and there's going to be dancing and games, and it's just going to be super cute. Disney Parks blog says, get in on the family fun and dance along with the sisters, play fan favorite games like Keepy Uppy, or go on adventures in life-sized Gnome Village or Fairy Gardens. So anyone with kids, let me know down in the chat. Are you excited to see Bluey at Disneyland? Now, I'm going to be this guy for a second here. And I know people are stoked for this, but I'm just going to say that theater around the 60th anniversary of Disneyland was home to Mickey and the Magical Map, which is one of my favorite Disney Parks stage shows of all time. And I honestly, I feel like it's a downgrade going from Mickey and the Magical Map to Bluey, but I get it. I get that Bluey needs to be present in the Disney parks. You know, I understand. But Disney, when this run of Bluey is over, can we please bring back Mickey and the Magical Map? So, you know, just saying, I love that show. Let's see down in the chat. Meg is saying, I know we're mainly talking about Disney, but have you seen How to Train Your Dragon stage show? Giant Toothless flies over the audience. Yes, I've seen videos of that on YouTube. Over at Epic Universe, they have the How to Train Your Dragon stage show. That is epic. Yes. I got to get out there and see that in person, but having Toothless fly over you, that's incredible. I've heard that's the most magical moment in all of Epic Universe, really. So, yeah. And honestly, that's probably cooler than a Bluey show. But I'm just saying. I know the kids are going to love it. But like I said, Bluey's coming to not just Disneyland, but also Walt Disney World. We're not getting a stage show or anything like that. But over at Animal Kingdom theme park at Conservation Station, there you're going to be able to play along with Bluey and Bingo. So I guess they don't really have a lot of details here, but there's going to be an area where you can play some games with Bluey and Bingo, like Butterfly, Keepy Uppy, and there's going to be a fun animal twist. So there's going to be probably some things about animals native to wherever they live. I'm thinking it's an Australian show, right? So probably some Australian animals. Disney Parks blog says, grab the whole family and snap some pictures alongside your Blue Heeler pals to remember this one-of-a-kind adventure. So, oh yeah, it says Australia. So yeah, I was right. I don't watch Bluey. So, but I mean, everybody knows about Bluey. Everyone knows that. So, all right. Let me just make a comment here. I mean, this is MiM Monday. We're going to talk about this news. So, Bluey at Animal Kingdom? Really? I think that's weird. And I think that's weird because the original concept art for the redo of Dinoland USA had a section, a whole part of the land devoted to Zootopia, right? And at somewhere along the line there, that was nixed. And apparently it was because Zootopia shouldn't be in Animal Kingdom. And then, you know, there was an internal battle between, you know, Disney versus Disney fighting for Zootopia to be at Animal Kingdom. And they ended up just giving Zootopia this 3D show in the Tree of Life Theater. And if they were arguing that Zootopia didn't belong in Animal Kingdom, then why does Bluey belong in Animal Kingdom? Anybody with me there? I just think it's weird, you know? But anyways, if you want to hear more about what is replacing Dinoland USA at Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park, I did a 3-part mini-series on the podcast called Dismantling Dinoland. and I just released the third part of that episode on Thanksgiving, actually. So the third part of that series, rather, on Thanksgiving. So go ahead and listen to that, and I talk a little bit more about this Zootopia thing that was supposed to be at Disney's Animal Kingdom, but isn't. I just feel like the Tree of Life was a consolation prize for Zootopia, but now Disney is super proudly, bringing out Bluey into Animal Kingdom, and I just don't think it makes sense. So, hey, thanks so much for joining MiM Monday. We're talking about Bluey at the parks. What do you think about that? Let's see down in the chat. Does Disney own Bluey? I don't think Disney owns Bluey, but they have theme park rights and distribution rights, I believe, for Bluey. So Bluey's on Disney Plus, and they're pushing it out in the theme parks. I remember maybe like a year or two ago, Disney did like some Bluey scavenger hunt at Fort Wilderness, I believe, and they were giving out Bluey stickers, and then they were told to stop because they weren't able to do things with Bluey in Disney World yet. So it's funny that now they're finally doing it. But yeah, so let me know, what do you guys think of Bluey over at the Disney parks? And there's one more thing, and that is Bluey, again, being on the Disney Cruise Line in 2026. So certain sailings out of Fort Lauderdale on the Disney Dream and Port Canaveral on the Disney Wish are going to feature Bluey and Bingo. It says that you'll be able to join them for a lively celebration, bursting with dancing, giggles, and games. So, Bluey at Disneyland, Bluey at Walt Disney World, and Bluey on Disney Cruise Line. So, I don't know. If you're a Bluey fan, it's a great time to be alive. So, Bluey's coming for you, whether you like it or not. But, I think it's going to be great. I think kids are going to love it. And I just, like I said, my only thing is that I don't think Bluey should be at Fantasyland Theater. I feel like Bluey should be in a smaller theater, maybe at Disney California Adventure, maybe in like the Disney Junior Theater, something like that. But Fantasyland Theater is huge, guys. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see them packing that entire theater for every Bluey show. And maybe they're not expecting to either. Maybe they just want to have the dance floor down there. I mean, what they've been doing recently with that theater has been so weird. They did like that Pixar, during Pixar Fest, that Pixar show with Pixar character meet and greets, and they haven't really been trying to fill that theater. But I think that theater deserves a good, solid stage show like Mickey and the Magical Map. So, anyways. On to the next story. And that is that the Walt Disney World and Disneyland calendar of events for 2026 have been officially released. So Disney World's calendar, everything is pretty vague. They don't have a whole lot of solid dates, but we're going to go through these anyways. That is free kids dining all year long. Free kids dining plan for the entire year, apparently. And then in 2026, again, very vague. It just says 2026, level 99. So if you don't know what level 99 is, this is going to be over at Disney Springs. It's replacing the NBA experience, which replaced Disney Quest. And gosh, I loved Disney Quest as a kid. Just saying. That was that huge, was it like 4 or 5 story tall building with just like interactive things and video games, and it was so cool. But this is gonna be level 99, and from what I understand about level 99, it's kind of like escape room / interactive games. It's basically like a Disney Quest kind of thing with like some escape room type elements in it. Very interactive. There's gonna be some bars and lounges in it as well. This is already a thing. This is like a franchise, so it's supposed to be really cool. That's going to Disney Springs in 2026. And then in early 2026, that's February, again, no official date, but February 2026, Frozen Ever After is going to reopen. Now, I say reopen because it's closing on January 26th. Excuse me. It's closing January 26th for a refurb. So, if you if you're going to Disney World and you just have to see Frozen Ever After, which I think is anybody going to Epcot, be mindful that from January 26th through sometime in February, it's going to be closed. And what they're doing is they're putting all the new faces, or I guess full heads, I guess, on all the animatronics in Frozen Ever After. So right now, we currently have those projected faces, which were cool at the time and got outdated really, really fast. But they're replacing these with actual beautiful sculpted faces, and very, very excited for that. So no official date, but sometime in February 2026. So this is going to be closed for about a month. And I'm so excited. That Frozen has deserved this update for so long. It's the original Frozen ride, and it deserves to look as good as the newer ones. And then January 16th through February 23rd, Epcot International Festival of the Arts, my personal favorite Epcot festival. There's Broadway singers on stage. There's art for sale all around the park. And there's even going to be a special Lorcana event where you could play and trade cards and even get free cards, apparently. And like I said on a previous MiM Monday, if they announce a park-exclusive Figment Lorcana card, I'm going to drop everything, buy a plane ticket, and go to Epcot and get me a Figment Lorcana card. Just saying. Who's with me? Let's see. And then spring 2026, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad will finally reopen. Again, no official date, but that is spring 2026. This has been closed for a while now. And they're doing a ton of interesting work on there. We only know a little bit about it. Yes, Tim down there saying Lorcana. Yes, Tim, we're going to play some more Lorcana very soon. The Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is getting a whole bunch of updates. They're redoing that first lift hill scene with all the bats. That's going to be really cool. They're going to bring back a little bit more of the story of Big Thunder Mountain. You're going to be able to hear some thunder, apparently. So I'm really excited about that. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. Again, no date, but that's reopening spring 2026. We're getting the blasters that you could actually lift off the ride vehicle. Finally, we've been the only Buzz Lightyear attraction where our blasters are stationary. So I'm glad to finally move them off the target. We're also getting a laser beam that's always on so that you can aim better. And then I think the guns are going to have haptic vibrations or something. That's going to be really cool. And the targets are going to do stuff. So I'm really excited about that update. Buzz Lightyear definitely deserves some love. Although, I do think that with Toy Story Land at Hollywood Studios, that we don't really need Buzz Lightyear at Magic Kingdom anymore. And I would rather have a shooter attraction based on Big Hero 6. What do you guys think of that? That's a pretty cool idea, right? And then, of course, Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, March 4th through June 1st. And then summer, Cool Kids Summer is coming back again. Cool Kids Summer is pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a kid, but just walking around Epcot and seeing Goofy Core, that was awesome. So I'm stoked that that's coming back, just because I think Goofy Core is a cool idea. So that was like an area in Communicore Hall where Goofy was playing games with kids. It was the coolest thing. There was like a DJ in the center of the room, and kids were like playing like hula hoop games and stuff with Goofy. It was just super cool. So I'm excited about that. And then lots of cool stuff coming in summer. We already talked about Bluey and Bingo at Conservation Station and Animal Kingdom. Soarin' Across America is finally going to open summer 2026. No official date yet either. But Soarin' Across America, guys, that's going to be for America's birthday. And it's going to be a really cool way to celebrate. This is going to be the third film for Soarin', and it's going to be looking at all the landmarks and monuments of the United States of America, greatest country in the world. So I'm excited about that. And then summer 2026, we're getting a new Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run mission with the Mandalorian and Grogu. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for joining the chat. Mandalorian and Grogu on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Super excited about that. Apparently, the engineer is going to be able to interact with Grogu. So the seat that nobody wanted is now going to be the seat that everybody wants. So very cool. Can't wait for that. It says, happiest Disney mom. You have a red, white, and blue heart. Are you referring to Soaring Across America? Well, there might be a little bit of a lag here. But if you are, I'm excited for that. And Millennium Falcon, if you're excited for that too. Rock and Roller Coaster, starring the Muppets. That's summer 2026. I have mixed feelings about this one, guys. So on December 1st, Disney kind of sadly surprised everyone and had the pre-show with Aerosmith at Rock and Roller Coaster closed. It's closed forever. It's done. So if you went in on December 1st, or if you've been in there any other days since then, that whole pre-show, where that whole room where you see the studio, the recording studio, that's all walled off now, and they have these like GeForce Record logos all over the wall. And what I'm sad about, they gave nobody a warning. Nobody was able to have one last view of this pre-show. Nobody was able to, Megan says no backstage passes. Yeah, no one was able to see Steven Tyler say, wait a minute, I love that idea. That was gone. Unexpectedly, people were shocked and upset, honestly, and I get it. I said my goodbye to Rock and Roller Coaster. I was there just a couple months ago, and we did it, and I said goodbye to Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith, and I quoted all the lines, hey Chris, can you grab my Les Paul? All that stuff. So how about some backstage passes? That's all gone. So let me just say that anybody riding Rock and Roller Coaster right now with no pre-show is going to have no idea what's going on. They're just going to walk through a record studio, and then end up in some alley and get on some big car and start going really fast, and there's going to be no clue what's going on. I guess with context clues you can figure out what's happening, but it just makes me sad. So we don't really know a whole lot about what's going to happen in the actual ride. I heard that not much is actually going to happen in the actual ride, or change, I guess, in the actual ride. But we do know that the pre-show is going to have a couple of animatronics. Those penguins are coming. The penguins from Muppet Vision 3D that were in the orchestra pit, they're going to be working the sound booth. So that's really cool. Let's see in the chat, but why cancel it? So they're just shifting gears. They're going from Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith to Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets. And so this new version is going to be all about the Muppets, specifically Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. But I'm pretty sure the ride is going to be pretty much the same. What I do understand is that we're going to have Dr. Teeth covering some like modern songs, modern rock songs, maybe modern pop songs. I don't really know, but I'm very, very curious what the playlist is going to be. So I just remember, I'm just thinking back of all like the rumored refurbishments for Rock and Roller Coaster that never were. And I remember one of them was going to be Rock and Roller Coaster featuring Radio Disney. And it was going to be like the Jonas Brothers and Hannah Montana and all these singers. And that would have been really funny. But that obviously never happened. And they could have gone any direction with other rock bands. But, Disney doesn't want to pay those royalties anymore. They have so much IP in-house that they're going with something that they own outright, and that is the Muppets. People love the Muppets. Now, whether or not this is going to be as good as Muppet Vision 3D, I don't think so. I think Muppet Vision 3D is a classic. That was Jim Henson's last work with the Muppets, or last work period, as far as I understand. Classic. But at least we're still getting Muppets around. In the chat, Meg says that would have been the best. The Radio Disney Rock and Roller Coaster, right? Could you imagine hearing Jonas? But that's like old school Jonas Brothers. That's like SOS and like Burning Up Jonas Brothers, which is fantastic. So I would have been down for that. So, hey, Jonas Brothers is really hot right now. Maybe Disney can shift gears really fast and have Rock and Roller Coaster starring Jonas Brothers. Just saying. But actually, stay tuned if you like Jonas Brothers. I have one more Jonas Brothers related story to talk about all the way at the end of this episode. So yeah. A couple other things on the Disney World calendar of events. The Magic of Disney Animation is opening summer 2026. So we've talked about this before. This is what's replacing Star Wars Launch Bay. There's a lot of construction happening at Hollywood Studios right now. But replacing Star Wars Launch Bay, they're going back to what was kind of originally there, and that is the Magic of Disney Animation. So back when MGM Studios first opened, this was an actual animation studio. They made real animated movies there, really real Disney animated movies there. And, since then it stopped being a working studio and then became Star Wars Launch Bay. And now here we are going back full circle. But they did announce something new coming. We talked about before about the other things that are coming. They're going to make the facade look like the animation studio over in Burbank. And there's going to be a playground called Drawn to Wonderland, inspired by Alice in Wonderland, concept art by Mary Blair, and that's going to be beautiful. And of course, there's going to be just so many cool things. These pictures in the studio are going to come to life, inspired by that wonderful Disney short, Once Upon a Studio, and just so many cool things. But they announced something really cool recently, and this is a section that's going to be called Off the Page. Off the Page. And so, according to Disney Parks blog, it says this is going to be a stunning area where you can meet some of your favorite friends at the from the Walt Disney Animation Studios, while you celebrate their stories and the artistry behind every frame. And so they're going to break this meet and greet. This is basically a really big meet and greet section, and they're going to break this up into different sections based on different parts of the animation studio. So there's going to be a story area, layout, hand-drawn animation, computer animation, lighting, and effects. And each one of these is going to be home to a special backdrop that's themed to these parts of the studio, and then a meet and greet with certain characters. And they have a piece of concept art here, which is really cool. The backdrop and like the frame around where you meet the character is layered like the old multiplane camera, which was invented by Iwerks, and it helped them get all this depth in the old animation films. And so they have these like layers of set in this meet and greet area, and if you look at it from a certain angle, you can see like lines and grids that look like the multiplane camera. And this concept art has Rapunzel in that space, which honestly doesn't make a lot of sense because she was from the computer animated area, or computer animated era, rather. So I don't know, but this whole concept is really cool, and I can't wait to see what all the backdrops look like, because I just think it's really cool that they're really leaning into what the Disney Studios originally was. Before there was Disneyland, there was Disney, Walt Disney Animation Studios. And, that's where it all started. So I'm really happy that we're going to be able to celebrate that at Disney's Hollywood Studios, as it should be. So very, very exciting. That's, of course, opening in late summer 2026. And then we're getting a new show in that same area, Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live, summer 2026 also. So this is the same show that just recently debuted at Disneyland, or at California Adventure, rather. And so if you've seen that show, it's the same one coming over here. So that's very cool. And then just, the standard things coming in the fall, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, Food and Wine Festival, and in the winter, Very Merry Christmas Party, Jollywood Nights, and Festival of the Holidays. And the last thing that's pretty cool about this calendar is that the water park benefit is coming back summer 2026. So that was for anybody staying on property, you can get a free water park admission on your arrival day. And that's really cool. I didn't take advantage of that on my last trip, but my brother and his family did, and they had a great time enjoying Blizzard Beach, I believe. So really cool benefit. So if you're traveling to Disney World in the summer, your arrival day, you can get a free water park admission. So there you go. Lots going on at Walt Disney World in 2026. And probably even more things that we don't even know about yet. But Disneyland released their calendar also, and their calendar is a little bit more specific than Disney World's calendar. So let's go through this really quickly. Disneyland's 70th will continue in 2026. It will end on August 9th. So if you haven't gone to Disneyland to check out the 70th anniversary, go check that out. It is fantastic. I had the best time celebrating the 70th over there. And then Disney California Adventure is going to celebrate Lunar New Year from January 23rd to 22nd. The Celebrate Gospel concert series and celebration is going to be February 20th through 21st, and then February 27th through 28th. So that's really cool. Lots of gospel singers and acts performing at California Adventure. And then California Adventure's Food and Wine Festival, March 6th through April 27th. And then their Bluey show, like I said earlier, debuts March 22nd. And on that very same day, I don't know, you might be split. Should I go to Bluey or should I go to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run? Because that's also opening. Their Grogu and Mandalorian new adventure is going to be debuting on... I'm sorry. That's May 22nd, not March 22nd. You won't have to pick. Hooray! You can go to Bluey on March 22nd and then Millennium Falcon on May 22nd. So that's really cool. There's Soarin' Across America at California Adventure debuts July 2nd. Their Halloween time celebration is August 21st through October 31st. That's a really long Halloween celebration, right? That's more than 2 months. That's crazy. And then a celebration of Coco, Plaza de la Familia is August 21st through November 2nd. And then their holiday season starts on November 18th. So, I'm out of breath. So that's what's coming up at Disney World and Disneyland in 2026. What are you most excited about? Let me know in the chat. Are you most excited for Bluey? Are you most excited for Millennium Falcon? New Soarin'? Let me know. I think out of that list, honestly, what I'm most excited for out of all that is Soarin' Across America. I need some new Soarin'. Welcome to Soarin'. New Patrick Warburton, please. So two more stories, and we're going to wrap this up here. I know we're running a little longer than usual today, but there's just so much to talk about. I missed last week, So two more things to talk about. And that is on the last MiM Monday, I was talking about how there's this new shop opening at D-Tech at the Co-op shop. And that is that shop that is selling like just blind boxes and stuff. And that did replace that. But now I was talking about how I was sad that a vault collection was being replaced. That a vault collection was going away because the vault collection is my favorite spot of the Co-op shop. But some good news is that vault collection is not going away at the Co-op shop. It's just moving. So it actually moved over to the other side of the Co-op shop, replacing D-Tech. So D-Tech was that area where you can get like custom phone cases and stuff like that. So that's gone. And actually there's only one remaining D-Tech customization station at Walt Disney World, and that's at the Tomorrowland Launch Depot at the Magic Kingdom. But I don't know. Do people still get those like custom phone cases? Is that still a thing? I haven't gotten a Disney World phone case from D-Tech in a very, very long time, actually. But let me know. Do you still buy stuff at D-Tech? So let's see in the chat. Celebrate America and Disney After Dark Nights is what Happiest Disney Mom is most excited for on the Disneyland calendar. Yeah, those are both awesome things that are coming. Let's see. A vault collection. That's my favorite section of D-Tech because that's where they sell all like the vintage inspired merch. And I was worried that they were getting rid of that and they were going to stop doing the vault collection merch. They're not. That's still there. So I'm very excited. I have a lot of Vault Connect collection merch. So let me know, are you excited for Vault Collection to still be at the co-op shop at Disney Springs? Or are you bummed out that you can't get D-Tech at Disney Springs anymore? Let me know down in the chat. So I got a custom phone case there. I think I also bought a computer, like a laptop case there one time. So I don't know. Stuff is still pretty cool, but if you're looking for it, go to Tomorrowland at Disney World. So last thing, I'm going to close it out with one more thing. I said earlier, if you're a Jonas Brothers fan, stick around. So here it is. More Jonas Brothers news. If you don't know, guys, I'm a huge Jonas Brothers fan. So, anytime I can talk about Jonas on this show, I will. And that is that there's a ton of Jonas Brothers photo ops all around Disney World and Disneyland right now, celebrating a very Jonas Christmas movie that their Christmas movie that just came out on Disney Plus. And the movie's great. It's really funny. But if you want to take a picture with some big Jonas Brothers backdrops, you can head over to Disney Springs. So there's a big backdrop, a big poster over in between like Trendy and Once Upon a Toy. There's a roaming DJ sleigh that has Jonas Brothers like logos and stuff on it, and it's pretty cool. So this sleigh like goes around Disney Springs, pumping out music. So that's really cool. And then that strolling piano that goes around Disney Springs all the time. I always think it's so cool. It's like guy sitting at a piano and it just like rolls around while he's playing. So right now it just has a big Jonas ad on the front and on the side advertising a very Jonas Christmas movie. So that's really cool. And then over at Disneyland, over by the Fantasyland Tower at the Disneyland Hotel, there's a big photo op with the Jonas Brothers movie poster coming out of like a present. It's right next to another photo op for the new Prep and Landing short, which is coming out soon. And then the coolest, I think, of all of these photo ops is in Disney California Adventure Park over in Hollywoodland. That facade that looks like the front of like a brick building. All the windows are covered in Jonas Brothers ads, and the two big windows say "Let It Bro," which I think is really funny. Let it snow. They say "Let it bro," and it looks like a Christmas sweater. And then there's like a car parked in front that says, the license plate says Xmas Bro. And then, of course, there's a big movie poster on the wall behind it of the Jonas Brothers. So there you go. If you're a big Jonas Brothers fan or just a really big fan of this Jonas Christmas movie, you can get your picture with these backdrops if you're in Disneyland or Disney World. And, of course, the soundtrack is great. They have some great Christmas songs on there, like It's Christmas, Coming Home for Christmas, Time, all great, fantastic Christmas songs there. So anyways, I thought I'd end with a little Jonas Brothers. But thanks so much for hanging out, guys. This has been such a fun episode, talking about the Disney World calendar, the Disneyland calendar, Lacey Chabert, Hallmark Christmas movie, filming at Walt Disney World. I'm so excited for that. And just so much awesome things coming in 2026. So many awesome things happening right now at Disney parks. And of course, Christmas. So anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out the Mickey in Minutes podcast to hear some other episodes over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And check out other episodes of MiM Monday that you may have missed on those same two feeds, and also on YouTube. And of course, if you're not already subscribed on any of those, subscribe and leave me some comments, show some love, and anyways, yeah, all that stuff. So thanks so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Nick Lazaga. Thanks for helping to make Monday magical. I will see you next Monday. Bye, everybody. Hey, what's going on, everybody?